jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki jai. Brajabhumi Shri Vrindavan Dhama ki jai. Mayapur Navadvip Dhama ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Kalachanji Dhama ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Jamuna Mai ki jai. Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtana ki jai. Transcendental Books and Prasadam Distribution ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hopefully I didn't say that too loud on the mic. Just so, one more thing. I appreciate your help here. Can you grab me cartels? I'm sorry, I didn't think about it. Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Welcome to Shri Shri Radha Kalashanji's morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. I want to apologize. I schedule Srimad Bhagavatam class, and sometimes I make mistakes. And so today I originally scheduled a devotee that I probably should have told them, mentioned it to them. I'm so used to everybody being so, I'm not saying this person is like this, isn't this, but everybody's being so ecstatic to give Srimad Bhagavatam class. I don't even have to say anything. I don't have to text anybody, everybody just knows. But this person, I apologize to them. I should have messaged you and let you know. So because of their absence, I will step in and do my best to give class, if it is okay with all of you. Anybody who, yeah, if anybody, that's intimidating. Any objections? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Thank you, Dristadumna Prabhu. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Thank you, Mataji. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Haribo Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kalashanti Radha Kalashanti Shri Radhe Nayu Radha Kalashanji Radha Kalashanji Sri Radhe. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Shri Radha Kalashanji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Together, if we can do the invocation verses, both Sanskrit and English, please. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devyam sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer the respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan, Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, and to Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayasha breshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in the classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome in the heart is almost completely destroyed. All loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyantimirandasya Kananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. So and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto them. So we're in Canto 7, and we're going to be doing Chapter 2, and we're finishing it up here. So we'll start on verse 50, and we'll go through to 61, I believe, is the final verse, and we'll be focusing on text 57. The topic for today is death. One of the ecstatic symptoms of the devotee, death. But before we start that, what's going on? So Hiranyaksha, one of the sons of Diti, has just been killed by Varaha, right? And Hiranyakashipu and the family are around. They're upset, right? And who starts preaching? Hiranyakashipu starts preaching. Woo! Hiranyakashipu ki jai. I'm kidding. Come on. See who's paying attention, right? And at this moment, Hiranyakashipu is telling about a story about Yamaraj in the form of a little boy, right? And there's also been a death, and so Yamaraj is speaking the absolute truth to the persons there that are aggrieved about this death. And so we're getting to the last part of this scene where Yamaraj is speaking and preaching about death. So let's go. Let's do it. 50, please. Who has a mic? Trista, thank you this morning. Trista has really been working hard. Got the mic set up.
Hare Krishna.
Gave
Text 50?
Wonderful garland. Yes, please, Prabhu.
There was once a hunter who lured birds with food and captured them after spreading a net. He lived as if appointed by death personified, the killer of the birds.
While wandering in the forest, the hunter saw a pair of kulinja birds. Of the two, the female was captivated by the hunter's lure.
O queens of Suyajna, the male Kulinga bird, seeing his wife put into the greatest danger in the grip of providence, became very unhappy. Because of affection, the poor bird, being unable to release her, began to lament for his wife.
Alas, how meriless is providence! My wife, unable to be helped by anyone, is in such an awkward position and lamenting for me. What will providence gain by taking away this poor bird? What will be the profit?
If unkind providence takes away my wife, who is half of my body, why should he not take me also? What is the use of my living with half of my body, bereaved by loss of my wife? What shall I gain in this way?
The unfortunate baby birds, bereaved of their mothers, are waiting in the nest for her to feed them. They are still very small and have not yet grown their wings. How shall I be able to maintain them?
Because of the loss of his wife, the Kulinga bird lamented with tears in his eyes. Meanwhile, following the dictations of mature time, the hunter, who was very carefully hidden in the distance, released his arrow, which pierced the body of the Kulinga bird and killed him.
Oh my gosh.
Thus Yamaraj, in the guise of a small boy, told all the queens, who are all so foolish that you lament, but do not see your own death. Afflicted by a pure fund of knowledge, you do not know that even if you lament for your dead husbands for hundreds of years, you will never get him back alive, and in the meantime your lives will be finished.
Hiranyakashipu said, while Yamaraj in the form of a small boy was instructing all the relatives surrounding the dead body of Suyajna, everyone was struck with wonder by his philosophical words. They could understand that everything material is temporary, not continuing to exist.
Have you guys understood everything? Yes, please. Tell 60. Yes, please.
After instructing all the foolish relatives of Suyajna, Yamraj, in the form of a boy, disappeared from their vision. Then the relatives of King Suyajna performed the ritualistic funeral ceremonies.
Therefore, none of you should be aggrieved for the loss of the body, whether your own or those of others. Only in ignorance does one make bodily distinctions, thinking, who am I? Who are the others? What is mine? What is for others?
Narada Muni continued, the mother of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha heard the instructions of Hiranyakashipu along with her daughter-in-law Rishabhanu, Hiranyaksha's wife. She then forgot her grief over her son's death and thus engaged her mind and attention in understanding the real philosophy of life.
Wow. Hiranyakashipu has been able to preach in a sense that he has destroyed the lamentations of his mother and the people around him. That's kind of amazing, isn't it? But my question would be is, what was Hiranyakashipu's purpose in preaching this science? Was it to please Krishna? Interesting, huh? Can we preach without, we can use Bhagavad Gita, we can use Srimad Bhagavatam? Can we use the science of Krishna consciousness, not for the pleasure of Krishna? And if we do, what is our destination? It's quite interesting, huh? That we need to have the attitude appropriate for all of our actions in life. Meaning that our attitude, our bhava, is that we're doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Or we can do so many things like preach Krishna consciousness and we're not even doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. Is that bhakti? No. No, as devotees, our goal in life, our goal every moment is to be doing things that are for the pleasure of Shri Shri Radha Kalashanji Krishna. Right? So there's a verse in Bhagavad Gita. I memorized it a long time ago and I'm going to butcher it so I could use some help. It's, here, come here. Yam yam
यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः.
In this verse, we're talking about at the time of death, what is the state of being? Bhava. What is the attitude, the state of being is determining our next place, our next destination. And so, as devotees, we really are very fortunate in that life has such a value trying to please the Lord that our attitude starts developing in this manner, that we want to please Krishna. And so, therefore, when anything happens in life, we start to develop an attitude of what can I do or how can I best serve the Lord? So, they say that, I played sports all my life, and they say that you know the person next to you, you know your teammate when adversity hits. When adversity hits, what do your teammates do? Do they cower? Do they start arguing with each other? Do they start bickering and back and forth? Or do we say, you guys, we're coming across adversity, let's pick it up. Let's try harder. Let's go. So the devotee, when adversity hits, where do we go? Mother Kunti pointed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Radha Kalashanji, Shri Shri Radha Govinda, Jai Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra, and Sringadev, Gauri Tai. Yes, this is where we go. So, when we have just imagine at the time of death how bewildering it must be. Everything is being taken away from you. Your position, your nice car, your nice house, your nice this. Or maybe your not so nice car, or your not so nice house, but they're your house, and they're your car, and your kitchen utensils, your nice book bag, or your family members, right? My wife, my kids, they're all being ripped away from you at the time of death. And how bewildering must that be? So what's your attitude when things are ripped away from you? For instance, I can relate to this one very well, so I'll share it with you. When somebody disrespects you and rips away your false ego, what do? Get mad? Do you start throwing curses left and right at this person? They're expert. Tulsi Saki Prabhu knows my heart. So we can see that in this life we're getting so many opportunities to check our bhava, to check our attitude. Who are we when adversity hits? Instead, do we take the teachings of Jesus Christ possibly and turn the other cheek and start praying for the person? Oh, this person disrespected me. Oh well, that's not that big of a deal, right? I'll still remain. I still have my service. Matter of fact, we can even go deeper and say, Kalashanji, what can I do at this moment to please you? Do you think that Kalashanji would like it if we were raking over the coals this person left and right? That's the child of Krishna. So maybe we can find it in our heart to find some compassion. This person's probably in a situation that's very tough for them. They're probably not even mad at me. I just happen to be the thing that crossed. And so therefore, when this happens, I can see my compassion possibly can come out into a way of, man, they must be really suffering. Please, my dear Shishi Radha Kalashanji, this devotee, this child of yours is suffering. And all I want more than anything is for you to take them in your arms and help them. Please. This is one attitude we might have, right? And our acharyas, our teachers, our gurus, give us so many positive attitudes about how we can please Krishna. So, what's our attitude? Is our attitude for the pleasure of Krishna? Or is our attitude protecting all of our things? Our false ego, our mind, even our stuff. And we will go through life and we get checks, right? Checks to see how we're doing. So, when we first come to Krishna consciousness, we're so used to being attacked by material nature that it's very reasonable to fight, to run, to be scared. We've been traumatized by this material nature so much. So it can be very difficult to get to that state of our attitude of going to Krishna, right? So what can get us to that state? What can get us to the attitude that we always go to Krishna and and come with the attitude of what is pleasing to Krishna? Anybody have any suggestions? Whoa. So we get into we find an attitude of how can I serve it? So when something happens and somebody does something that hurts us in some way or makes us upset, whatever the verb, is it verb, right, that you want to use, we think automatically our check is, oh, how do I serve this person? I see I'm upset, boom, I put in, a balance, a check that I go to serve. Very nice. Thank you, Mother Kriti. Ratna Gopi. Right. I'm sorry. Can we get a mic? Because I want people to hear you. Please.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now I'm very loud. So I'm thinking that it is worthwhile if you feel that person would be receptive to communicate it. At Krishna House, we also sometimes include a third party to help mediate the issue. And that way you can reveal your heart and mind. And oftentimes that brings the relationship deeper and increases trust. We all have different wounds on our heart. Not everyone is ready to listen. So it's not always the case. And absolutely, as Mother Kunti said, services is the way to go to clear our heart. And then also this leads us to how can we respond better in the future when we're facing that adversity of a hurtful situation. When we start to build the trust in this process of, I can communicate my needs, and we can start to heal from our wounds and develop better relationships, more cooperative ones that are pleasing to Prabhupada and Krishna.
This is a very expert answer. Very expert answer. That we can actually take a tough situation and turn it into a positive by communicating, by making ourselves a little bit vulnerable, or maybe a lot vulnerable, and willing to communicate with that person. I feel like this. With the attitude that we really want to deepen that relationship, right? This is one of the 6 loving exchanges between the devotees. That we reveal our mind in confidence, and we hear in confidence. It'd be a good question to really, or a good exercise or meditation to think about what it means, confidence. What does it mean when we reveal our mind in confidence? What does it mean when we hear in confidence? Mother Kunti.
When someone hears something in confidence, the most important aspect is to keep that information confidential. What was the other one?
Hear, revealing and hearing. So we
Okay.
hear in confidence and we reveal in confidence.
Okay.
So we have confidence this person will keep this between us, and we have confidence that when revealing the mind, we will eat. One thing also we learn in Krishna House, right, is that if you're going to talk about anything that's been talked to you in confidence, you talk to that person first. Hey, I would like to know, is it okay you spoke to me in confidence? Can I share this with this person or that? Prabhuji.
I like their answer for that. I grabbed the mic for the previous discussion, but we've moved on, so I'm okay.
Just one more thing on that. So I would like us to the possibility of confidence also being that we have confidence that this person is going to see me in the light of a devotee, and I'm going to hear this person in the light of a devotee. Because sometimes when we're revealing our mind, it can be, right? And so we really hope this person can understand that as a devotee, I want to move closer to Krishna, and I am revealing to you this possible difficulty. Really help me to, don't think of me as a non-devotee because I have these anarthas or these situations, but please look at me like a devotee who really needs your help to move forward. What do you guys think? Does that make sense? That sometimes that we can hear or reveal in the mind, our safe spot is that we're thinking, hey, I'm trying to be a better devotee, and we're hearing that this person is also a devotee of Krishna, and we're trying to help him in that way. Yes, Ratna Gopi, please.
So I feel it's important not just to, because it could be somebody in the world who maybe doesn't practice Krishna consciousness, who could be coming to us with something on their heart and mind, or we may need to facilitate a conversation with them as well. And they might not be as receptive, or it might be that we don't need to deepen that relationship. But sometimes we have family members who are outside of Krishna consciousness. And I feel that it's really good when dealing with devotees that we express our intention at the beginning of a communication session like that. And that can be very much like, I'm feeling this on my heart, it's disturbing my mind, I wish to focus on Krishna and deepen our relationship with Krishna in this process. But more than that, I feel like it's important to see each other in that situation as just people. Like, if someone can see you as a person, because oftentimes when something is triggered or somebody's done something maybe to cause some hurt in our heart, or we've caused something to hurt their heart, we're not really thinking of them as a person with feelings, like a spirit soul, It's oftentimes we're absorbed in something else in our mind. So coming back to that very grounding fact of, oh, this is another living entity with like really deep feelings and a personal experience. And how can I facilitate, some healing here? I feel like it's really valuable. more than seeing someone as a devotee, which is like a really high elevated state. Sometimes that can make us feel a little bit anxious, or we feel really scared to offend or something. But if we come to this very personal level of, I'm a person and you're a person, and let's try to communicate, then I feel like that's really helpful, and it's easier to be compassionate. When we stop thinking of this person as like maybe a judgment we've thought of them, but we just come back to, oh, this is a soul. This is one of Krishna's family.
Hare Krishna. I was thinking this possibly could be a very interesting subject to your heart, Ratnagopi, because I know your Guru Maharaj, Bir Krishna Maharaj, he has so many nice books on empathy and communication. It was just hit me. Yeah. So really seeing person as a person instead of being so absorbed in our thoughts, our emotions, that we get to a place where we're just like reacting out of material nature instead of, oh, I'm working with somebody who's a living entity. Yeah, I would add, if I may, that that every living entity is a child of God. And so if we can come with that attitude, that this is also a child of Krishna, a person, that we can question, what can I do to please Krishna? And we can know sometimes that Krishna, to please Krishna, might not be revealing our mind too much for this person, right? I mean, that can be dangerous for people, right? We start preaching to them, you know what I mean? And they're like, every time this person talks to me, they start preaching. We become Hiranyakashipu, maybe. We're not really, I'll say something. We're really not preaching for the purpose of pleasing Krishna. We're just doing it because we're just shooting verses at Bhagavad Gita, you know? Okay, when we're first devotees, we're trying to understand how to speak Bhagavad Gita to people and how to relate it to Krishna consciousness. So it's understandable, but we want to get to the point where when our preaching, where we're giving knowledge of Krishna consciousness, that it's not disturbing to the person, that we really are giving it in a nice way, right? Thank you, Ratnagopi. I could go probably 15 minutes off of that. But is it okay if we shift over back to the Yeah, no, I think this is at first we talked about and I could use your help right here in speaking then. What was the first thing? What happened? Krishna's arrangement, Prabhu, that you can help me with. Yes, because we were talking, because it was really interesting. We had such really wonderful answers. Yes, please. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2.
I was appreciating both of the points. The one my mother made about serving that person, because I was seeing how practically, if it's done genuinely, you really, then it can help the person that is obviously in some kind of pain, or there's something going on they need some help with, right? So it can help them, and then it can also help you to heal and, get past whatever it was that they may have offended or hurt you. And then I was appreciating Ratnagopi's point of, have a conversation with them. It's part of the revealing your mind and confidence, I think, in one sense, or at least being vulnerable enough to say, hey, when you did this to me, it hurt, and finding a way to do that that's healthy and communicating that. I think it's 2 super important points. And then I was remembering a class by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, and I can't remember the title of the class, but that's not so important. But it was about relationships and love, I think, something like that. And Maharaj was making the point that, a lot of times when we're, specifically in, like husband and wife type relationships, we have a lot of expectations. We expect that this person is going to do certain things for me or for the family. And because of those expectations, we get into a lot of conflicts. And I think that happens also in relationships. We expect devotees are going to deal with me a certain way, and they're not going to deal with me a certain way. And because I have that expectation, when that's not met, now I'm hurt, or I'm offended, or I'm, because I have this. And he was making the point that in a relationship, if I think that I don't, like, this person doesn't owe me anything, you know, that I'm not like entitled, like they need to cook for me every day or clean for me or do all these things for me. It's a very elevated place to be, of course. But if we don't have these expectations that they're supposed to serve me in these ways, then, you know, if I'm expecting a 10-course meal and I get a 8-course meal, and I'm saying, wait a minute, where are the other 2 courses, right? But if I'm not expecting anything and they give me like a burnt chapati and a little khichdi, oh wow, thank you. I didn't expect anything, you know? So like, it's this subtle, so I was just remembering that point from Ranat Maharaj. So it's kind of like in a sense of if somebody, how we can help combat that is if I don't have these expectations, basically if I'm not looking for respect from others, if I'm not thinking that I'm due, you know, what is it? Trinata Pisunichena, right? Like, then it's kind of hard to be offended. I mean, obviously these are very advanced places, but I'm really appreciating the practical side of doing some service and actually verbalizing that as well. I think, you know, it's 2 sides. If I'm genuinely developing some humility and I feel like, okay, you know, yeah, this person's going through a hard time, but it's actually not me, you know, it's something they're going through. Then I can kind of say, okay, it's not a big deal. But if I'm really hurt by it, then maybe I need to have a conversation with them and clear the air. And if I can find some way to serve them, jai.
A willing to give respect, but not get it in return, right? The willingness to, we could call respect gratitude, being thankful. Thank you so much that you've done this or this or this instead of what we didn't get. What a great point. I was thinking too, is that these are like you were mentioning that these are very advanced states. I was thinking, I wanted to encourage for us that aren't at this state, that one of the things we can do when we are disturbed is we can go talk to somebody who can help us. We can have that mentor. We can have that person that can give us a perspective and lighten up the situation in a way that it becomes conducive to our Krishna consciousness. Because there's sometimes that we just can't figure it out. I'm hurt. I'm thrown off. I hate this person. You know, so many things that I don't even want to reveal where I go to, right? And we can say, hey, please help me. I know I want to work on my devotion and I want to please Krishna, but right now I just don't see it. And in that, we can have people that help us. They can give us their understanding, their knowledge, their bhav. They actually share it with us, and they can put us in a situation that we can see things more clearly, and we can use it for Krishna service. Mother Kunti.
I have the verse that you're referring to. We can all say it together. Trinada pisunichena, terora pisishnuna, amanina manadena, kirtaniya sadahari. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. And I was just thinking in that regard, it's a kind of, for me, it's a fake it till you make it, because I'm so puffed up, you know, I'm just Miss Puff, you know, and yeah, I'm just like, you know, always wanting to be center stage. So all I can do is I have to keep bringing it back. And then that's all we can do. And then someday, like Pinocchio, I'll become a real boy, a real kid. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. So we're very fortunate. We're actually very fortunate that this world is so disturbed and so tough, because it gets us an opportunity every moment, basically, to check our attitude. Wow, this person cut me off on the way to work. What's my attitude? Can I pray for them? Can I let it brush off my back, or am I going to get disturbed for 15, 20 minutes about how this person needs to go to hell? Yeah. What hotel is telling you is for the people that cut you off, that don't follow courtesy in the road. Yeah, it is, right? Wow. A non-stop traffic jam, this material world. Everybody's anxious and ready just to strike. Yes, please. Oh, I went right to Yam Yam Vapisama. I'm a bad devotee. Thank you, Ratna Gopi. Wow. Okay. Let's go. I apologize, Srila Prabhupada. Please forgive me. So, can you click on 57, please? What I'm going to do, because of my mistake, I'm just going to go right. No, thank you. We'll just go right into translation and purport, because this will be conducive to what we're doing. Thus, Yamaraj, in the guise of the small boy, told all the queens, "You are all so foolish that you lament, but do not see your own death. Afflicted by a poor fund of knowledge, you do not know that even if you lament for your dead husband for hundreds of years, you will never get back alive, and in the meantime your lives will be finished." Purport. Yamaraj once asked Maharaj Yudhisthira, "What is the most wonderful thing within this world?" Maharaj Yudhisthira replied, Mahabharat Vanaparva 3:13-116, "Anyani ani bhutani gachanitya yamalyayam sesha satparam ichanti kim ascharyam ata param." Hundreds and thousands of living entities meet death at every moment, but a foolish living being nonetheless thinks himself deathless and does not prepare for death. Thus, this is the most wonderful thing in this world. Everything has to die because everyone is fully under the control of material nature, yet everyone thinks that he is independent, that whatever he likes he can do, and that he will never meet death but live forever, and so on. So-called scientists are making various plans by which living entities in the future can live forever, but while they are thus pursuing such scientific knowledge, Yamaraj, in due course of time, will take them away from their business of so-called research. The devotee, death is the final test. It gets to the core of where we're at, and at that time we get to see what is our attitude. Are we willing to see everything for the pleasure of Krishna and try to move forward that? And then this life, we have an opportunity at so many times to be bewildered and get to check our attitude. So these are little mini quizzes, right? A little mini quiz throughout life. Guy cuts you off, little mini quiz. Boss starts yelling at me because of something that's not my fault, little mini quiz. The person says, "Hey, Nanda Braja, great Srimad Bhagavatam," a little quiz. Yes, I did. Right? Same thing, just the other side of the coin. What I'm trying to say, Mother Kunti, is that when somebody praises us, do we even know how to appreciate Krishna? Or do we see it as only from our perspective? I am such a good Srimad Bhagavatam. We could say this in just, I hit a home run in baseball. I am the king, right? So that it's the throughout life, we're getting these quizzes to see, are we seeing things as the mercy of Krishna? And when we hit a home run, it's the mercy of Krishna. And when we strike out, It's the mercy of Krishna for the devotee. Any last comments? I saw a microphone get passed around right here. Was somebody going to say something? I got called out. I think she did too. I wasn't going to be so direct as Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I feel this class was for me and work in progress. So I'm taking to heart everything that was shared. And I'm going to sincerely try.
Thank you. And like this Srimad Bhagavatam class is so powerful. I have a dream that as a community, we are all reading the same Srimad Bhagavatam at the same time. Maybe not all like right here because we have different situations, but we're all like in general reading the same Bhagavatam at the section, yes. And because of some past experiences and experiences I have, especially in Krishna House, when we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam and we have a group of people that are all practicing it together, you can start to see like, whoa, what's going on here? like we're reading about this in Srimad Bhagavatam and this situation is going on. Could you imagine the community is running in that way where it's like all of a sudden things are happening in the community? You're like, everybody looks at each other and goes, we're reading about that Srimad Bhagavatam. Whoa! You know? This Srimad Bhagavatam is so special that if we read it, if we do it daily, and we do it in association of devotees, the potency of it just explodes, and it starts entering our life. We start, because one of the reasons why I'm saying this is Tulsi says, this class was for me, or like I felt like this class was for me, this topic. And that's when we're like, that's what Krishna's really pouring on the mercy. And we've had that experience as devotees, right? Before we just go to a class and we go, hey Prabhu, hey Mataji, do you know about my situation? Like, how do you, is somebody talking? Did I speak in confidence to somebody and they told you? It's just, you're just hitting it, you're going, wow. But then, right? But then our intelligence kicked in and we understand how merciful the Lord is, and that He's so merciful that He's arranging things in a way that our life is happening in such a way that the right verse gets spoken at the right time, the right devotee comes into our life at the right time, our life becomes in sync with Krishna, and life becomes a lesson. Our life actually becomes a Srimad Bhagavatam class, and we're just living it. And that's, as a devotee, where we're trying to get, is that we're trying to become devotees, so much so that our association and our experiences are teaching us how to move closer to Srila Prabhupada and to Sri Radha Kaleshanji. Wow, how lucky are we? He's like, again, one coincidence that I found was Tamal Krishna Goswami's disappearance was yesterday, and literally we heard so many wonderful things. Well, I mean, one of the topics, I won't say, but one of the topics that was coming into my mind was, at the time of death, who's going to be around us? Who's going to be our well-wishers in life? Are you living a life where a devotee is going to pray to you at the time of death? Please, Krishna, take that person in your hand and take him. Tamal Krishna Goswami led a life that so many people were devastated that he was gone, and at the same time loved him so much they want just the best for him. Can we live that life? Are we, our relationships, are we getting people that we're saying, wow, thank God that person, they're out of here? No, I'm obviously being a little facetious, but just try to understand the concept that are we developing relationships within in our life that are so deep that at the time of death, There are people there to chant for you. There are people there to pray for you. There are people that are on their knees. Krishna, please help them. Please, please. It's no coincidence that this verse is the next day. That's my point. I think Nrsingarupa Prabhu is looking for the mic. Oh, pretty.
I've talked too much today, but I'm really, this is such a nice class, and I feel like it's also for me as well. Two points were coming up. You touched on it at the end. At first you said coincidence, but I really feel like, it's like an experiment in our lives to anything that our mind would try to dismiss as a coincidence, to actually go a little deeper and see Krishna's hand in our lives, because we know not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. Nothing happens by accident. But yet our mind will say, oh, what a coincidence. That was really neat. How did that happen? Instead of connecting with, oh no, Krishna is there, and he's actually there, and we can try to see Krishna's hand in our lives. And then I was appreciating the last point you were making. Bhaktitirtha Swami has these, I don't remember exactly what they're called, but I think it's like principles for community or something like that. And one of them is basically live within your community, live your life as if the devotees that are around you right now are going to be the devotees that are there at the end of your life to help you at the end of your life. So, relate with devotees in that way. Because if I thought, okay, this person's going to be by my bedside as I'm leaving my body, I'm going to really invest in this relationship, and I'm going to treat them with a lot of love and care. And yeah, wonderful class, wonderful discussion. I'm really appreciating it. Oh, and then the other point was that I really hope that we're all reading Srimad Bhagavatam together in the temple room.
Radhakala Shanji, I would love that too. Could you imagine? Like we have to go to the sanctuary. There's just no room in Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's Ratnagopi.
It's really sweet being around devotees. You're mentioning would somebody chant for you at the time of death? And it's very sweet that devotees are so merciful, even if someone maybe their actions wouldn't speak to that, any devotee would still chant for them, That's so sweet. And I had an experience once when the first temple I lived at a few months in, my mentor at the time, she was very kind to me in the way she would play the ras of my friend, even though she was definitely instructing me. But one time we were just joking around, and we were talking about something happened if we got hurt. I forget the context, but yeah, she was like, oh yeah, no, I would chant for you. And it was just so casually, deeply meaningful. Oh, I have someone here who would perform the deepest service to help me go back to Krishna. If I were to get hurt and leave my body right now, I could go back to Krishna because of this friend's mercy. And it was so I was reflecting on, since that time, when we're around devotees, people can just casually say the most deeply meaningful, heartfelt things, a casual, of course I would chant for you. And it's whoa, that could bring me back to Krishna right now. So it's such a sweet mood to live and be with devotees.
We're not scientists. We're not atheists. We're devotees. And Krishna, when we make the choice to be devotees, enters our lives. And he's doing everything he can to make arrangements for you to think of him and to serve his devotees. And if we look at every moment of life like that, then we are cruising on a bullet train back to the spiritual world. And that's where we want to be, right behind Srila Prabhupada and the devotees. Hare Krishna. Everybody have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bo Vanchika Patarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Antikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai. All glories to you guys.
Krishna Kirtana Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnava Vanshan Shri Rupam Chakrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tvam Sajivam Shadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakanitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhaktavrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaurabhaktavrinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama